What is happening? J Game Dude here, and as much as I like dicking on Xbox and pretty much everything that they do because it's just not really going all that well for them at the moment, let's talk about how Sony might be messing up here. I say might be, we just don't really know the extent of positivity or negativity, well, more so negativity surrounding Concord, which was shown off at their most recent state of play, and at the end they did in fact announce a date, and the fact that the game would, well, they didn't announce it during the presentation, but the game is being sold for $40, and if you were to pre-order the game, you get access to the beta. Now, what has ended up happening is that Sony's opened up the Concord early access beta to all PS Plus members, which means I am currently able to actually download it despite the fact that I did not pre-order the game, and it does kind of make me wonder what's going on here. Because normally when games do this, they don't open it up to more people later on before they actually start doing the beta tests and everything, or early access or whatever have you, pretty much. Because I feel like due to the negativity surrounding their presentation of it being of the more story related aspects of the game, it seems like because people didn't like it that much, or that people didn't pre-order enough, they've decided to open it up. Can I say that with absolute certainty? No, but I feel like that may have something to do with the decision that was made at Firewalk Studios. And so the beta currently runs from July 12th to July 14th, which I'm pretty sure this video is going to actually be out after the beta pretty much ends, I think. No, actually, yeah, this video will be coming out after the beta is already finished. But, well, the closed beta, but then you've got an open beta running from July 18th to July 21st. Now, again, while I think that this is an interesting idea of like opening it up to more people, which I feel like they should have done from the very beginning, I do have my, like I am kind of a little bit worried about Concord, because you're trying to get people immersed in a story, but you're doing it through multiplayer gameplay. Specifically, was it like 5v5, I want to say? 5v5 multiplayer? Does it actually say on here? No, it doesn't say. Yeah, it doesn't actually say like how many members are in each team, but I think it's like 5v5 or something along those lines. Like 5v5 hero shooter gameplay. So it really does kind of make you wonder, hold on. So you're trying to get people... Okay. See, my brain just had a bit of a hiccup here, because I was about to say that you're trying to get people hooked in a heavy amount of story in a multiplayer game. But the thing is that Overwatch completely failed at this by not having the story in the game and just have it be a multiplayer only game, and all the stories, animations and stuff were released after the fact as videos on YouTube and things like that, or just pretty much paragraphs of text on their website, and that's it. They never implemented it in the game, and that's one of the biggest failings of Overwatch, besides its existence, that it couldn't draw more people in with like its story and world and things like that, because apparently it's got some really big world and some really big story. It's just that it was never in the game. Now with Concord, that story is going to be in the game, but the problem is that story in games and multiplayer gameplay are two completely separate, different ballparks. Because with the existence of other people, you will be dragged out from the immersion of a story or a tale, because there are people who are going to be interested in the story and are going to sit around. Then there are going to be some people who just do not have, so some that have interest and will be sitting down to watch, some that have no interest and will completely skip cutscenes. How will that affect people who, want to watch? Are you going to force everyone to watch? Is that going to push people who just want to play the game away? It really, really depends. But the thing is that what I'm trying to say is that trying to make it so multiplayer heavy and at the same time trying to be very story heavy, which is primarily single player-ish type of thing that you would have, are just complete opposite sides of the spectrum. And by trying to bring both in, I think you'll be pushing both out to each other. So say for example, if players who are not interested in the story did try to skip the cutscene, then will it skip for just them, or will it skip for everyone? Or are you going to make it so that the cutscenes are not skippable? But then if you do that, then the people who aren't interested in the story are just not going to stick around. But apparently the cutscenes for the game are also not going to be that long and are going to be provided on a weekly basis. But then the question then becomes, you're releasing this game out to the wild as a fully featured product that isn't necessarily going to have additional game modes or things like that, sure. However, it is worth keeping in mind like that time is finite. Like, how long are you going to be able to keep this up for this one game? When is support going to end? And if people join late, will they retroactively be able to watch cutscenes from like the past that have been shown to other people in order to catch up and continue playing the game from there? It's really confusing how they're going to be providing all of this information, how they're going to be doing the story, how it's going to be presented. They've given some ideas, but beyond that, they haven't really said that much more about it. And it really does really does scratch my head. But as of right now, the full experience includes 16 playable characters, which are all called free runners in the game, 12 maps on various worlds, and 6 team-based modes. This will expand shortly after launch with regular post-launch updates for all players at no additional cost. And worth mentioning again that the product that they're releasing is fully featured on launch, which wasn't mentioned here surprisingly. But yeah, it really does kind of make me question, why could this have just not been a single player shooter? If it was a single player shooter, I would have pre-ordered this in an instant. But for it to be so multiplayer heavy does make me try to question like what they're up to, what they're trying to do, and how the dichotomy of these things really just don't work in my mind. But maybe I'm looking at this at the wrong way. Feel free to add some more context in the comments below. But I really am just struggling to figure out what this is meant to be as a product on the market. Sure, it's unique in that sense, but then it's also very much way too similar to other hero shooters. So for it to be a hero shooter and not just a shooter that is a single player game, again, that just makes me scratch my head. Like, I'd rather it be a single player shooter because more people will be able to jump onto it at a later time, not feel like they're missing out on anything, and not be completely confused by the concept unless there's something more going on here they just don't quite understand. But with all that being said, let me know about what you guys think about all this in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 300 subs by the end of the year. And with all that said and done, I do upload every day. I am currently confused. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, I think.